Hello, everyone. Jesse Webb, Traders Pro. Market conditions bullish in a bull market. Had a bit of a rally yesterday, and then things kind of faded towards the end of the day. We're seeing just some resistance right here at these levels. A decent rally a couple of days ago, and then a little bit of a pause right here. We're seeing momentum shift back up into that bullish trend that we want to be able to see, and then breadth still kind of stuck right where it's been in the middle of that range for the last little bit. We've got the buy-sell ratio, which is also kind of flat right now, slightly bullish. I think it ticked back above 1.03. So really a bit of a tug of war right here, which is not surprising based on having a little bit of having an uptrend here over the last few months. We've pulled back off sentiment, back down again, about down to that halfway point potentially is where we could end up. If we've got, take a look at SPY pulled back up, had a nice confirmation bar 2 days ago, and also, pretty solid move yesterday, just relatively flat, not a whole lot of activity. So kind of pausing. There's definitely no fear in the market, but there's also a little bit of pause to having a decent uptrend, a decent rally. I talked about, when we get these pullbacks, we're looking for these locations of support and resistance, and this is exactly where we would have anticipated a bounce, and that's what has happened. So that's good when we can start to feel like we can kind of anticipate the locations where we're going to get a bounce, and it happens, then our minds are on the right track with the market as a whole, and that's kind of what we're focused on right here is some potential for some uptrend, buying the dips, watching for those pullbacks, watching which sectors are working. Now, one of the things that is really working is if you go to the index page, you go to the transportation stocks are leading. The Dow transports has just been rocketing higher, and some of the names in this list, Delta Airlines, you can see it's gone from $35 to $50. The one that I was watching was FedEx yesterday. FedEx had a pretty nice breakout move a couple of days ago here, retracement, breakout, and could see some continuation. So interesting that these transport stocks, and if you haven't been watching them, then they've been flying high. UAL, it's all the airline stocks, shipping stocks, really freight movers and people movers in anticipation for an opening economy, not in terms of interest rates coming back down, those ideas. The market has been bullish and continues to be bullish, but we're at extreme on some of these areas. That's just a short-term area to be aware of, watching for some pullbacks, watching for these leading stocks to pull back into a buy zone, and that creates a location that is going to have a higher probability buy area. A couple of the buy stocks in the muscle stocks group. CABA, really volatile stock, had a potential breakout, immediately turned and gave it back, and immediately turned and rallied back up again. So some volatility on that particular stock, which is a biomedical stock that has been a high flyer for the last year. So if we look at the year chart on it, it's had a huge run up, retraced it, gave it back, but now is working on this overall bullish trend profile. Could get a breakout right here. Keep an eye on that one over the next couple of days. See if there's any continuation on that. ACLS, electronics manufacturing, in the buy zone. Nothing spectacular about that chart, but interesting. It's had an interesting move here from 126 to 180 and just a bit of a pullback. RETA, kind of a bouncy, sloppy chart, not a real strong confirmation bar. There are several strong confirmation bars coming up here. RYTM, medical bio, deep retracement. It probably had a pretty big run. Yeah, it did back here. You can see if we even go out to 2 years, went from 5. So it's going to continue to rank fairly high, because the rank is based on the prior 12 months. So it's still including a lot of that huge rally that happened here in a pullback. But it's had a decent retracement. That's sitting right around probably a 50% retracement. So on that 2-year chart, it's sitting right inside the buy zone. That buy zone of 50% to 618 retracement, when you have this swing high point and this swing low, that Fibonacci tool is going to automatically snap to the highest and lowest points on the trend. And the 50%, that halfway mark, is a very common area for support to start to come back in again, and you're seeing that happen on this stock. So it's still got a long-term downtrend, but that, again, it's a deeper retracement. Biomedical could have a bounce here. A couple other stocks that I was looking at this morning, EXTR, GRBK, real estate developers. We've talked about those. REITs are real estate investment trusts, and real estate developers. Those stocks are really taking off here. Keep an eye on those. This is the one that I saw that had the really solid confirmation bar, medical bio, generic drug, and has a history here of some decent performance. It's also got some history of some real volatility, so it's one to be aware of and be watching for any false breakouts. But this is a nice looking pattern. When you have that uptrend, pause, consolidation, support, it pulls back to a support. This support area here used to be resistance, now it's support. Now we're breaking out of that. Could see some continuation on BBIO. Keep an eye on those. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.